An isolated incident yet people that damage for years. These people will not who know perhaps
Assalamu alaikum. This is Sisa Media Inc. podcast with me, Asma Surprise Sitole. On today's episode, we're going to be delving into higher learning institutions, more especially in the marketing and advertising department. I'll be joined by Paul Tandy, who's a lecturer in digital marketing, and he's going to be unpacking this topic for us. Paul, thank you for joining me on the show, and I can't wait for us to delve into this innovative industry. And it makes it very much, worth talking about, more especially with regards to higher learning institutions. Do you mind introducing yourself to my viewers and listeners?
I would first say it's a great thing that you're doing, and this is going to shape the lives of many. It's a noble cause to bring people together, and
Mhm.
the impact can't just be measured by a recording because this is a timeless kind of a product. My name is Paul Thandi. I am a coach. I'm a lecturer here in Dubai. My background is in media, marketing, digital marketing, all those things put together. Career spanning now to it's 2025, so we're talking about 14 years now.
I believe that as a lecturer, you have your own definition of what is marketing and what is advertising. Do you mind describing the two terms for us and how do they marry each other and they work each other and they should be implemented together, more especially with companies running campaigns and also with students learning or taking this course as their profession?
Marketing is the journey. It's the
Hmm.
journey to take your customers through what we call a customer value journey.
Hmm.
When you think of what you just purchased, let's talk of something big, maybe like a laptop or a car, maybe a home. You just didn't wake up and go to purchase it. So you've
Hmm.
been going through a journey, you've been doing your research, you're looking at other options. So marketing is enhancing that journey, what you call the customer value journey. It has about 8 steps around it. So
All right.
marketing is to bring people to the table. On the
Mm-hmm.
other side, advertisement is to promote a specific product, a specific service. Advertising has a timeline. It happens
Yes.
between, the 3rd to the 16th. It
Mm-hmm.
happens within a month. It happens for 5 days. It happens on a Black Friday. So that is the advertisement. You promoting a specific product. So marketing is constant.
All right.
Advertisement, it has a duration, it has a fixed time, and focusing on a specific product or
Yes.
service that you're putting out there.
As a lecturer, you probably must be facing some challenges, more especially with you transitioning from traditional learning and to modernization of learning. So, what are those challenges, more especially with students having access to data?
First thing, my biggest challenge is knowledge is no longer a secret. The same way
Hmm.
you'll find that the lecturer knows everything, the student knows nothing, and it's that bridge. Now
Yes.
everyone knows something about everything because we are no
Hmm.
longer in the age of information, because
Hmm.
information is everywhere. Actually, right now we're in the age of data. So the
Hmm.
biggest challenge is teaching people about something they know about. So
Yes.
you'd rather be offering something quite candid. And most of the
Hmm.
time I find myself in a place of just trying to make people understand what each of these things mean and how is it related to the bigger picture. It's
All right.
easier and it's hard at the same time because people know
Hmm.
things through different ways and they have their beliefs about the things they know. So
True.
having them to unlearn some things and to
Mm-hmm.
articulate what each of every these items mean in the relation to the bigger picture of the course or the topic that is on training at that time.
So, do you believe that companies should actually implement like apprenticeship programs across this department, more especially, with so much trends coming and go, with so much innovations that are happening?
Actually, I think we should take this back to the institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I went to education conference happening in Sharjah,
Mm-hmm.
and I listened to institutes and the representatives of institutes, and even the ones that I'm working with right now. The education model has changed, far
Yes.
much changed. You find we had to wait for internship to come. Now, internship is part of the
Mm-hmm.
curriculum. You don't have to wait for fourth year for you to go for your internship. No, you learn, you implement, you cover specific modules within your curriculum, then you go and practice it. And the
Mm-hmm.
organizations or the companies are becoming part of the learning. They're not becoming end of the learning. They're becoming part of the learning because today's job market is very tight. If you
True.
wait for you to go through the internship for you to get ABCD, someone who's graduating with you on the same day, they have worked with 6 7 companies by the time they're done with their curriculum. So it is up to the institutes to integrate the practicality. And just back again to the class, it's no longer about the theory. you know uh I remember when we were in school and we were being taught these
Mm-hmm.
things, back maybe in high school and primary school. We will be told, imagine a plane, imagine the heart, imagine a region that looks, the wetlands look like this. Imagine now with technology that we have right now, we can just download a video, we can download a picture. So it's no longer about imagination, it's technology is allowing us to integrate these things closer. So back to your question,
Mm-hmm.
companies should see learning as part and parcel of their business. When you think about what you can give back to the community, when you think about you being able to leverage on labor, it's for you to tailor the specific tasks that are to be done to the different levels of education, because the model
Mm-hmm.
is changing and it has been changing quite fast. So it's no longer
Mm-hmm.
going to be I'm looking for internship. No, I have been doing my internship. By the time someone is getting to the fourth year, they've done maybe two internships every year with the company. So they're coming to you and they're like, I have worked for these 8 companies. What do you want me to
Mm-hmm.
do? I have done this before. I have met clients before. I've done sales before. I've been an engineer. I've been to the ground before. So it's about incorporating these things. So it's
Yes.
more for the institutes, it's more for the organizations to tailor these integration together so that the job market's demands are met as the demand is rising.
And I think with early introduction of internships and apprenticeships can actually shed a light on whether students want to pursue this career that they've chosen for themselves. So I do believe in companies introducing more apprenticeship programs or internship programs. With the rise of these innovations, these trends, and with it coming into the classroom, and with students having access to such softwares like ChatGPT, and probably, as a lecturer, you might find it very much too much accessible. I remember during my college years, whenever we were told to do a research, we'd be on the ground and we'd just ask people, more especially when I was doing like a questionnaire kind of based research. I had to approach people and to sit down and give me 5 minutes of their time to conduct this survey. And that was part of my research. It was part of the curriculum. So, as a lecturer, with so much access to ChatGPT and so much data and information, what are the challenges that you're facing with regards to that?
Yes and no, because a student, every student is different. You will know a student who came to get the papers. You'll know a student who came because they want to learn, they want to prepare
Hmm.
a path for themselves. They are intentional about what they want to do. So The second kind of student, someone who's come for their career, someone who has their personal goals, they will use these AI tools to enhance their learning. The others
Mm-hmm.
will use it as an excuse to complete their training. It's very hard for you to change the mentality of that student. But now, again, the setup of how an educator trains makes the difference, because it should not be go do this and bring it back. No, it's go apply this, because
Mm-hmm.
if they didn't understand, the application will fail. So they
All
have
right.
to understand for them to apply. We
Mm-hmm.
no longer give assignments of go write me a one page of ABCD. No, it's go apply this knowledge and bring me this kind of results.
All
So
right.
if trainers can tackle education from that perspective, then either they're using AI or whatever tools that they're using, it's to help them to implement what they understand. So the next time they come to class, they'll be more keen. The next time they're attending their lecture, they'll be more detailed to take as much as they can, because they know whatever they are expected to do is application.
Mm-hmm. Of our conversation, you mentioned you defined to us what is marketing and what is advertising. Do you believe that, in the next coming years, advertising and marketing studies will be redundant because of we seeing the rise of content creators and influencers, who can be working for companies like for a short period of time, instead of those companies hiring them for a long period of time, and getting into this long-term contractual agreement? Do you believe that it will be a threat for students who are coming fresh from college to get jobs in this era of digitalization, on of access to instant, exposure and engagement with clients or customers?
You see, when you're getting an influencer, they're coming to influence a specific agenda. And when you talk about marketing, we're talking about the customer value journey.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the first step of customer value journey is awareness, and then we have engagement, and we go all the way until we make our sales, and we are at advocacy and promotion.
Yeah.
So when an influencer is coming, they cannot come to do the full customer value journey.
Mm-hmm.
For them, it's to they come in at the conversion level. They're coming to influence the purchase of a product.
Mm-hmm.
So if the journey of the product is not well done, no matter how many influencers you have as a company, you cannot push and you can't grow without this kind of a process,
Mm-hmm.
because the customer value journey is not replaceable. So if you
Yes.
think about it this way, an influencer will come to influence an individual, but who will promote your business to business relationship? Who will be working on your future goals, what you're growing into? If you look at companies like Apple and Nike and these big brands, none of them began as who they are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft didn't begin as who they are right now. So there's the metamorphosis, the growth of a company with the changing of the consumer, with the changing of business, with the changing of politics and all these things. So companies are always metamorphosizing. So an influencer, they're coming in as an integration, as part of the
Mm-hmm.
marketing. So yes, they will play a role and they're playing a role, but theirs come in at the conversion point of it. But when you think about those things that I've mentioned, an influencer does not have the ability to actually modify or change the customer value journey. No, that
Mm-hmm.
will be done by a
Oh,
marketer.
yeah.
So I think what we should be talking about is what should marketers become in today's market. They should
Mm-hmm.
be more than what an influencer can do.
Oh, you mentioned that you attended educators or teachers forum or conference in Sharjah. What are the latest trends that we're going to be seeing in the next coming years? More especially with regards to education and in higher learning institution.
A lot is changing. Let me just recap this. Something happened about 2 weeks ago.
All right.
There's this doctor who called the institution. Full time doctor, running, having shifts, practicing doctor. And for
Mm-hmm.
them, they wanted to study something very specific, infographics. this
Mhm.
part of Illustrator within the Adobe softwares. So they just want to come to the institute to study something very specific to
Mhm.
integrate it into their career. So
Right.
part of what is changing is the demand for education. It's no longer about this whole course. So
Mhm.
after someone has their own path, the second level of learning is tailoring specific learning needs. You
Mhm.
know, so what is happening to institute is they are dissecting these big courses, and inside them they are creating specific
Mhm.
modules that they can certify. So if you look online, and I would ask our viewers to do this on themselves, each big
Right.
institute now has a small short course, a
Mhm.
2 months course, a 5 day course. In the past, we never had this. Either you come in for a certification, then go for a diploma, and the
Mhm.
certificate had its own structure. Now, the consumer, who's the student, is determining the education sector, because they're
Mhm.
coming to you, they're ready to pay, but they want to learn something very specific. It's like you
Mhm.
going to maybe Hallett Wait, or maybe you're going to the Ajman University, and you're saying, I specifically want to come and study running a podcast and converting it into a business.
Yes.
So it's for the institute to be creative enough to know what can we create, how can we create this, what do we integrate, can
Mhm.
what do we borrow from different departments to make this unique product. And actually that is
Now that.
what is pushing the institutes, because that is the demand. It, universities and colleges are businesses like any other, and the master of any industry is the consumer. So now the consumer wants these specific things according to what they actually need for their career needs. And so now
Mhm.
the institutes are being forced to adjust and to create these very specific teaching points.
What you're saying makes total sense, and I'm going to share a very personal story. I remember I wanted to learn about artificial intelligence because it was talk of the town. I didn't understand what this word meant. And then I stumbled across a free course that I took for 5 days. And with what I learned, it wouldn't be necessarily something that I would have learned in college. It would have took me probably a year to even get to that module that took me 5 days to learn. So with dissection of courses, I'm definitely rooting that, and it's going to be very much attractive to students because with access to information and data, anyone can pick up a phone and instantly open their application and they can learn about anything that they want to learn. So it's not that education now is very sacred. It's out there. Everybody can learn at the given time whenever they want to. And yeah, I do believe in that actually. I remember working for this advertising agency in South Africa, right? And we were given like an internship program whereby we can learn. And because there's so many trends that are happening in this industry, something is trendy, something is traditionally enforced, and something is modernized. So you have to be within the trends. You have to know what is happening. So do you believe, that companies should actually invest in their employees, more especially with regards to you empowering them with education?
Is me being in the education sector, I have been in business for the longest part of my life. And employers are actually the first value before even your consumer, because this is the machine that follows the process that is able to generate you profits and sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
So the quality of your employees is the quality of your customers, is the quality of your product or your service. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a question of you as a business owner, how do you want your business to perform? The answer to that means you will empower the people that are working for you, because out of the empowerment that you give them, then comes the success of your company and comes the perception of your company. For example, when you walk to organizations, you can easily read the energy within any organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Some really don't care. Some the attitude is very wrong. Others are very friendly. Others are very listening. So the culture of a company is equivalent to the investment in terms of education and exposure of the staff. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, this is part of the capital that every business owner should have. So learning is not an if. Actually, it's a
Yes.
compulsory thing that should be integrated in the company.
No.
Oh, what is your take with regards to artificial intelligence? Because so many people are saying, you know what, it's going to take our jobs, it's going to take over, and then and sometimes you'll find headlines, you know, on newspapers saying, "Oh, are we going to see humans working alongside human bots?" So, what is your take with regards to artificial intelligence?
This is what I would want to say. People are afraid of AI because they think AI is going to come and take my job. No,
All
AI
right.
is not coming to take anybody's job. Someone
Mm-hmm.
who knows how to use and work with AI will actually take your job and replace you permanently. So this is a call for upscaling. This is a call for personal development. It's a skill for knowledge searching and practicality and indulging in it, because the future is constant. Some few years ago, it was about the internet. Now we're here talking about AI. We are talking about digital marketing. AI is the
Mm-hmm.
next frontier. So
Sure.
no one is actually coming to take that which is yours in terms of employment or the business or the market share that you have. It's time to integrate. It's time for AI, and it's time for you to step up and actually be part of the change that
Do
is
you
coming.
believe that students should learn outside the classroom? Because I remember with my time, you know, I was working over the weekends, you know, promoting brands and home appliances brands, and at the same time during the week I'll go to college. And with what I've learned from both worlds, you know, it was I was picking up everything that would guide me into this industry. And with so much happening, you know, because interacting with so many people, it's very vital, most especially in this industry. So, do you believe that students should actually learn outside the classroom and they shouldn't actually wait for lecturers to come and give them a book and tell them, oh, learn this and this and that?
Yes, because we are, as I touched in the beginning of this conversation, we are no longer in the age of information. Now it's data,
Mm-hmm.
meaning there's so much information out there. See, you're not getting out there to compete with your document.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you can do that will make you hired and sustain, that will make whatever services you're offering retain demand. So it's not about the lecturer, it's about you. Where will you be? What are the opportunities you're creating for yourself? So it's actually a personal question more than outward question about the lecturer and graduating and doing all this. If you want to actually win, if you want to grow, it's up to you, and it's not going to stop. I have 41-year-olds, 52 years old, 60 years old who are coming to class to learn graphics, to learn digital marketing. So if they're
Mm-hmm.
doing this at that age, you should be doing 10 times more, because hey, the market is on demand. The labor market is changing every single day. If you're not
Mm-hmm.
changing, if you're not doing something deliberate about it, it's gonna be very tough for you.
You know what, Paul? We touched on so many touch points here, and I think this conversation was very insightful, and I think it was for my viewers and listeners as well. Um, we know we're talking about artificial intelligence today. Tomorrow we'll be talking about intelligence software. So you know what? Thank you for joining me, and whoever wants to get hold of you, how can they reach out to you?
Check out Paul Thandi
Mm-hmm.
online. You can find me. I think I'm everywhere. IG, Facebook, YouTube. A lot of content is coming up this year, and
Yes,
as well, createmydocuments.com and
yes.
thandypaul.com as well. You'll find me there. A lot of trainings on AI, a lot of insights on marketing, digital marketing, education, and so many touch points across 2025. So all this is coming up, and you don't want to miss it.
Here, Sisamida Inc., I say shukran for joining me. And if you followed and subscribed to my channels, and that's going to be a very interesting year. And I can't wait for you to, to stay updated and to see what we're up to here at Sisamida Inc. From me, Asma Surprise Itole, I say shukran.